All right. I think this is Accordion Cool. I don't have my sign behind me, so I'm not really sure, but it must be. Yes, we had a gig last weekend, and seems that we took Miss Ernestine's car instead of my van. Well, I think the sign's in the car, a couple of other things. Had to borrow a mic stand from Austin to put my little piano. Oh boy, I tell you. Don't get old, folks, don't get old. But anyway, enough whining. I'll think of something else to whine about, so I don't want to disappoint you completely. Okay, first tune, Cherokee, 1938. Written by a fellow named Ray Noble, who I believe, I could be wrong, I believe he was from England and had a big band at the time. And he was going to write like a five-piece or five-part, shall we say, five-part dedication to the different Indian tribes. So Cherokee, the song I just played, was the first one. Unfortunately, somewhere along the line, things got derailed, and he never finished the other four. So at least we have Cherokee, which is, a great jazz tune, fun to play, and really up tempo. So that was our first. Now this next tune is kind of interesting. As you know, I don't play polkas or any ethnic songs or things like that. This is an Italian song. It was written in 1957, and it says this genre is jazz. Now, I wouldn't really call this a jazz tune, but it's a pretty tune. And did a series of, Zoom concerts about a year and a half ago, and I made the mistake of asking folks to, write in if they had requests. So, of course, I had a request for this song. I'd never heard it. It's called Come Prima. And when I play it, you might recognize it because I think in English it means the first time or first love or something like that. And it was translated into English, and one of the like the boy groups, but back when boy groups were men groups, I think they called it for the first time. So you may recognize it. So it's kind of a pretty tune called, and of course it's one of our C tunes, Come Prima. Here we go. Come Prima. I think it's kind of a pretty tune. It's a simple tune, yet it's got a couple of little things you don't expect. So you got to kind of, keep your mind on what you're doing. But anyway, 2 years earlier than 1957 was 1955. That's what it was. Yeah, a fellow named Prez Prado. Prez Prado had a big band, Latin band, obviously, Prez Prado. Big hit on this song. Now, Prez Prado played trumpet, and he would start this song out and play a note, and then bend it, and then hang it on, bend it, and then get into the song. But guess what? You can't do that on the accordion. I tried it once. So anyway, Cherry Pink and Apple Blossom White. Here we go. Cherry Pink and Apple Blossom. Well, that was one of the first tunes that started that whole cha-cha thing back in the late 50s and early 60s. Most of your grandparents can probably fill you in on that. But what happened was that was actually played as a cha-cha. But in the early 1960s, a lot of tunes, they weren't really written as cha-cha, but they had a little cha-cha beat. Well, why is that, Coach Dave? Well, because back then, you know, if a couple of young ladies went together, like to a club or a party or something, without an escort, of course, they couldn't really dance. Yet every time these little tunes came on with a little cha-cha beat, they could get up and dance with each other. So this was kind of the song that was sort of the beginning of that whole thing. All right, let's go up 1 year to 1956. And the person who wrote this song, the name escapes me, but there was a big hit on this song, and it had a lot of strings in it. But well, we're not going to do that. And it's kind of a jazz tune. Well, anything can be a jazz tune, right? Little Canadian, there's I see, Canadian Sunset. So here we go. Canadian sunset. Now, I don't know what the difference is between a Canadian sunset and an American sunset. I think it's the same sun unless they got their own. But anyway, well, our next tune, I'm sure everybody, oh, not everybody, but most of you, shall we say, seniors are really going to recognize. A fellow named, he's a big house in Memphis, Elvis, that's who. Elvis was in a movie called Blue Hawaii. And he recorded this song that came from the movie, one of his biggest hits. Now, on the record, there's a lot of, piano stuff behind it, but, I need another hand, so I'm going to just kind of intersperse different, well, you hear it, I hope. Here we go. Can't help falling in love with you. Well, we're getting down to our last tune here, and actually today's show, I normally plan these shows out a week in advance. I didn't finally decide what to do until this morning, so I hope it didn't show. But anyway, we're going to finish up our letter C. The song 1958, written by a fellow named Neil Hefti. Now, you've heard me mention him several times because he wrote a bunch of great tunes. He was a trumpet player with a great Count Basie band, and the Count Basie band, all the big bands had great players. The Count Basie band had the best of the best players on the planet were in the Count Basie band. And like I said, Neil Hefti wrote several tunes. This one is kind of one of my favorites. I generally do it in all my live performances. Now, I can get some drum sounds on here, but it's not something that we did a sound check on with Austin, so I don't want to drive him crazy. So, because what it is a lot of drums in between, but we can get by with that because when I did my first album, I had this tune, and the great and unfortunately late great Paul Bish was the engineer. Paul was a great jazz piano player. So I want to do cute. He says, Dave, we don't have any drums. What are we going to do? So he says, I tell you what. I says, when I'm playing, the melody, you do the fills like a drummer, but, on the piano. And when you're playing on the piano, I'll do the fills. And it came out great. So we're going to try to do that. Going to play it and then try to do the fills. Well, you'll see. You'll see, I hope. Here we go. Neil, hefty, cute. Now, I have a confession to make. I didn't practice on the piano doing the different, but I guess it was, we won't, just don't tell anybody, all right? But that was cute. That's a great tune, great jazz tune that was very, very popular in the 1960s. Everybody did it, especially the instrumental groups. Well, that's just about getting us down towards the end of our time. You know what I'm gonna say? Bring those young'uns in. especially hear some great tunes like Cupid, all the other tunes too. And we made it through our second letter C, so we're moving along in the alphabet. I'll probably be jumping around a little bit, depending upon the mood I'm in and the songs that are available. But we'll eventually get it all done and maybe throw a guest or two in just for grins. And once again, thanks to Austin behind the glass. If I look or sound anywhere near good, that's the man responsible. So this is Coach Dave saying thanks for watching, listening, whatever you do. Let's take, I don't know, let's do Cute. Here we go.